Yeah, today was not good enough, and I'll say probably a bunch, but that's the story of the game. Just wasn't good enough. Extremely disappointing performance. We were an undisciplined football team today, and it's on myself. It's on our coaches. We talk all the time about WVU not beating WVU, and credit Oklahoma State. Really, really veteran football team. They've won a ton of games like this, and they got great players at skill positions. Their offensive line was obviously better today than they were last week. But we had 12 penalties, gave them 10 points on offense, a fumble, scoop and score, and then a procedure penalty on 3rd and 1 that gave them the ball back right before half. Just an uncalled for, just undisciplined receiver not getting lined up, quarterback not looking. We give them a field goal there. So that's 10 points we gave them on offense. And before we can win big games, that's what I told our team. Before we can win big games, we got to quit losing. And this was a big game. Let's not mix it up. This is a team that we had prepared for. Thought we had a good plan. And like I said, credit to Oklahoma State. Not pleased with how we performed. Not pleased with how we coached. Extremely disappointing. So with that, I'll take questions.
First question will be from Greg Hunter. Go ahead, Greg.
So, Coach, you were able to put yards up, but not points. You moved up and down the field, but score zone, again, a problem. Did you see anything specific there for you?
Well, in a lot of ways, Greg, same different game, same story from last year. We never actually got down in the score zone as much. It was in that 30-yard line area that we really we couldn't break for whatever reason. But I think you look at it, negative yardage plays again. Now, some of those came on the last drive, so I think you got to let those go. But rushing, if you look at it, they ran for 203 yards, had 200-yard carries. They ran the last 5 minutes and change off the clock to put the game away on the last score. We had 2 misfits. We had a misfit on the long run. And so that's disappointing because, again, that's discipline where we're not in the gap we're supposed to be. It's different if we just miss a tackle. We just miss a tackle, what's going to happen? We're in the wrong gap. Our communication wasn't great on defense. And so I think the story of the game is rushing. Once we cross into that 30-ish range, they were able to score touchdowns. We didn't. And then I think the penalties, if you look at penalties, and then we gave them a touchdown or give them up 10 points on offense, and that's the difference in the game. And here's the deal. They repeatedly made routine plays. I don't think they did anything extraordinary that I can remember. I'm not saying they didn't, but they just – and that's how you win games. You just make – repeatedly you stack routine plays, and we didn't do that. Drop a snap on a field goal. I mean, just – I can go on. Next question.
Next question is from Cody Nesper.
You said you were going to prepare for Spencer Sanders and adjust if he didn't play. Was that a big adjustment today, or what was that adjustment?
No, I mean, they did a good job. I thought the quarterback managed the game. I thought they did a good job coaching. They didn't ask as a true freshman do him a whole lot. I mean, if you look at it, I think he threw the ball 22 times. A lot of those were screens. But they ran 41 times for 200 yards. You run for 200 yards, you're going to win most of them.
We'll go to Kevin Kinder.
Coach, your tactic of spreading the field looked like with multiple receivers really well, create some of those slants and inside routes. Was that designed to beat some of the press coverage, get them off a little bit, create the chance for some big plays?
I thought our inside receivers did a nice job winning. Winston Wright, TJ Simmons, those two guys did a nice job winning versus man coverage. We missed some throws. Man. We just missed some throws. TJ kind of bobbles that ball that probably would have scored on if he doesn't bobble it right there. But I thought we won inside. I thought Bryce Wheaton won a bunch. We just couldn't get him the ball. We missed on a couple of them. But I thought he won. I thought those 3 guys at the receiver positions were the guys that played well.
Go ahead, Tom.
Overall, how do you assess the performance of your offensive line?
It's hard to tell till you watch it. Yeah, I didn't think we maintained blocks very well early in the game. I thought we started doing some good things in second and third quarters. We gave up a bunch of hits on the quarterback, so it's hard to tell until you get into a game or until you watch it on video. Some of those might not have been their fault, so I don't want to be too hard on them because it may have not been their fault.
Next question is from John Antonic. Go ahead, John.
Along those same lines, it's hard to tell from the watching on TV, but it looked like their D line controlled the line of scrimmage a little bit. Did you see it that way from watching where you were?
You know, they did a nice job. They pressured us a bunch. You know, they pressured us a bunch. They're good in the secondary. I think their nose guard's a really good player, 92. I thought they did a nice job of getting on the edge, which really didn't anticipate coming in the game. So I got to look and see if there's a technique issue for us. That's my first inclination that we didn't necessarily use some good techniques. That's the frustrating thing for me on this whole deal is we got into this game into an environment that had pressure that against a good opponent, and we had some adversity, and I don't think we reacted very well.
Next is Mike Piazza.
Neal, I think you indirectly answered some of these, so I apologize, but I'll still ask.
You're good.
You all mentioned, and Jared specifically, got to win some one-on-ones outside, and it sounds like perhaps a combination of factors. Maybe Jared wasn't on target, offensive line wasn't holding up, perhaps everybody wasn't winning one-on-one. I guess, is that accurate? Was a little bit of everything, and how much of that derailed you not being able to take advantage of what they were showing you?
Well, you know, I think a couple of times we probably didn't have good calls on. I think that goes on me, so I'll take those. But we didn't early in the game, first quarter wise, we didn't do a very good job of winning. We didn't make some good decisions on where to go with the ball a couple times. And it's a game of inches, guys. I mean, he throws a great ball to Bryce Wheaton in the end zone. He toe taps, probably misses it by that much. You know, Bryce wins big on a post. We get PI, and it hits kind of off his helmet because the guy grabs him. You know, and it's a grabby game. And so I have to go back and look and see what all went into that. But I think it was a collection of things. I don't think we protected very well. I don't think we threw the ball very well. And I don't think we didn't win on the outside a lot. We won on the inside. And like I said, I thought those guys did a nice job. We didn't win as much on the outside.
Next question from Keenan Cummings.
Hey, Neal, how did you feel about the play of Letty today? Looked like he really ran hard, broke a lot of tackles, made yards for himself. And then also on the injury front, how did you guys come out of this game?
Haven't talked to the trainer, so don't know on the injury front yet. I know we played a bunch of plays offensively because we had 79 snaps. We really had more than that because we had a bunch of penalties. So we probably had 85 to 90 snaps. So we played a bunch of snaps offensively. I got to see how we came out of it. I haven't talked to Vince yet. What was the first part of the question? I'm sorry. Letty. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I thought Letty ran hard. We cannot have the penalty that he had. That's a selfish penalty. He's a leader on the team. He was a captain for the game. Can't have that penalty. With that saying, the effort and the strain that he plays with is what we need across the board. All right, he plays physical, ran the ball hard, broke tackles. I thought he was just this close to breaking a couple more. So I thought he competed.
Next, we'll go to Sean Manning.
Neal, the right side of the line looked like you guys rotated a lot. John and Bryson at right tackle, Chase and Mike at right guard, and I think Chase might have played a little center. Was there a reason for that, or were you just trying to keep guys fresh? Or
center. It was hot. It was hot here today. Been a little while since we've been in the heat, so we were trying to rotate guys in. And when you get in the game and you start losing some one-on-ones, you're trying to search a little bit too. But going into the game, we wanted to play Yates, which we did. He and Junior kind of rotated in and out. We wanted to play Frazier and Chase both at center, and then Chase was going to play some guard, which we did. Frazier may have played a little guard also. And then we wanted to get Mays in the game too. So we played the guys, and we'll figure it out. We'll go back and look at it and figure out who gave us the best chance.
We'll go back to Cody.
So you mentioned Bryce, that he's getting these chances and it's just not connecting. Is it frustrating that it's not connecting, or is it promising that he's getting these chances in the first place?
Both. Yeah, both. I mean, second game and first time that we've really been challenged. And I thought in the second half especially, I thought he answered. He answered, and he was open a bunch. We didn't always connect, but he was open a bunch. And had a couple balls hit off his hands. He'll make those plays. But you got to remember, redshirt sophomore, kind of came on late in the year last year, didn't play a whole lot early. So he's still coming. But I'm pleased with him and excited about what he's going to do in the future.
We'll take these last two questions. First is Mike Kazaza.
Neal, how do you feel about the third quarter? Looked like maybe some adjustments took on both ends. Kind of, I don't know if they had a first down offensively, so your defense did their job, but just 3 for you, I believe, got in the red zone, but did move it again too.
Yeah, Mike, it's similar to last year. I thought we came out of the locker room. I was really frustrated at halftime, just because of how we ended the half, where we had the procedure penalty on 3rd and 1. We snuck it to get into a 2-minute drive, and didn't get lined up. Quarterback didn't check. So we get that, and then we end up giving up a field goal on that just because you use those timeouts so you score. And if you look back over the course of Troy and here, man, we've really done a good job ending half. And that middle eight's important. And I felt like we could score. We had a chance to score in that 2-minute drive, and then we give it back to them. So that was frustrating. And I just thought that we lost our composure a few times, and we didn't handle adversity very well in the first half. I was pleased. I thought the kids answered. I thought our players answered in the third quarter. Really dominated that quarter, but had very little to show for it, which is frustrating. And we've got to do better. I mean, we've got to be able to score touchdowns. I mean, we got to be able to score touchdowns, and some of it's there's enough blame to go around. But it was frustrating that we weren't able to take advantage of definitely winning that quarter.
Now, last question will be from Ryan Pritt. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Neal, I think they put the ball on the ground 4 times in that game, twice on the final.
None, right? We got 0 of them.
Yeah, and a lot of that's luck, but I guess my question is just how demoralizing and frustrating it is. It almost seems like you're snake bitten after a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think you make your own breaks. I really do. I think you make your own breaks. We had opportunities to get on all of them, really, and we just didn't do it. And so we got to go look back and see where we're getting hats to the ball. What was it? What was the difference? We put the ball on the ground once on a strip, on a kind of a strip, on a drop back pass. They pick it up, run it in. They put it on the ground 4 times, 1 of them on kickoff and 3 of them at the running back position, and we don't take advantage of it. So I think that, the law of averages end up working out for you if you're doing things the right way. And we didn't take advantage of them today, and we got to get better. This is disappointing. I thought somebody asked me earlier in the week on Tuesday, was this a measuring stick? Absolutely it was. I don't remember how I answered it, but it was a measuring stick, and we didn't pass this test. We didn't pass this test, and a lot of it has to do with Oklahoma State. They've been winning games for a long time, and so they understand how to win close games. They understand how to make the routine plays and not beat themselves. And we're not at that point now. That's the rude awakening of this game, is we are not at that point. So how do we handle the next week? How do we come back after not playing and not competing like we need to compete against one of the top teams in our league? And I think that we've got to regroup, and we've got to handle adversity, and we've got to get better, because we got most of these guys are going to be here for 3 years or more, 2-3 years. All right. So this core group that's playing a lot of football is going to be here for a long time, and we got to get better. All right. Thank y'all for being on here.